the 2017 Pallet Upcycle Challenge. This is your first time to this channel and you want to stay up to date with the latest pallet tricks, pallet woodworking, how to dismantle pallets, consider hitting that subscribe button. So here's my entry for the Pallet Upcycle Challenge. A unique, designer, one-of-a-kind, gourmet, stylish shelf. Don't underestimate the shelf. This is some powerful stuff right here. I would love to know, what's your favorite pallet project? Leave your answer in the comment below. There's nothing I love more than going to the lumber yard. You go to the store, you look at the wood, check out the individual boards, and then you find that special board that you really like. And you can just see your project in that board. That's golden. Once you got your lumber selected, you drive back home and get to work. Pallet lumber is very splintery. Obviously, I start with sanding, but sanding indoor in my case was a mistake. It became way too dusty. So, quickly set up outside. And once I have a good setup, I get back to work. Here I'll have plenty of air. Dust is going to have a lot of places to go. So, after a lot of sanding, I end up with two beautiful boards. Here's what they look like. Start to cut them up, and I want to preserve that unique nature art, and I wanted to glue it up at the top. But basically what happened is that I took polyurethane glue, put a lot of it, positioned it, clamped it up, and basically it completely squeezed out. So I was left with a little bit of a cleanup. Make that a lot of cleanup. Make that a whole lot of cleanup. Okay, I was basically cleaning up for quite a long time. But, you know, luckily this didn't last forever. Well, it felt like it did anyways, but I digress. So let's just finish up with the cleaning part, and once the glue is completely gone, then we can move on to the next part of the project. So here I set my speed square at just the right length to be in the middle of the board. Mark a couple of holes, and once the holes are all marked up, then we're going to start drilling. Basically, I want to drive some screws to hold the shelf holders. So I pre-drilled those holes, and then I countersink them so that the screws will sit flush. Here I have my 45-degree holders. I pre-drilled those as well. Put a little bit of glue, put them in the right spot, and drive in that screw. The screw is just there to make sure that the piece is held in place while it dries. The glue is going to do the rest of the job. Here we're going to start cutting a couple of pieces for the shelves, and I wanted to do something a little bit special, so I took out my Dremel, and something really weird started happening, and the little piece of sandpaper just wouldn't stay in place. So after this little episode, I figured, you know what, we're just going to keep things simple, and then we had another incident. So broke a piece of wood. It is pallet wood. It will happen. Cut another piece and sanded them all. We end up with 3 little shelves. So gonna dry fit them, make sure everything fits, and of course something doesn't fit. So we go to adjust that piece again, and finally we have something that fits. So take out the bottle of glue, put some glue, spread it around, and once everything is ready, Then we start to put those little shelves on. So I wanted to put a little bit of weight on them. This is not going to be holding anything significantly heavy while it dries. Once it's dry, we take that off. And they seem sturdy enough, so looks like that job is going to be good. So far, this is what we have. Pallet wood being as rough and splintery as it is, of course, I went right away with another batch of sanding. Little corners, top, sides, everywhere. This is going to be inside my house, so while I do want it to look like a pallet project, I want it to be acceptably rough to the touch. So I give it a good second pass sanding, especially in the areas that I didn't sand, like those cut piece of wood. Here you can see that the rough cut wood really transforms after the sanding. This is going to look awesome. Personally, I don't change grit over and over again, especially with a pallet project, because I do want it to have a certain level of roughness, but I ease off the pressure as I continue to sand, so it gives it a pretty nice finish. And speaking of finishing, let's take out the paintbrush. Here I picked a crystal diamond finish. I wanted to have a little bit of sparkle, but I didn't stain it because I wanted it to keep its original colors. I think it turned out very nice. It was very quick to finish. Did the entire piece in probably less than 10 minutes. Got to make sure that you get into all those little nooks and crannies. Really all of them. That's a lot of nooks and crannies. And that's the thing with a small piece like this, is that you're going to have a lot of detail work. Get ready for that. It's perfectly normal. Smaller pieces, they're going to have the same amount of love. That's just the nature of the beast. And finally, we're done. Time to relax, chill out, have a cold little drink.